Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you guys are doing well. Today is 15th March 2025. Quarter 1 of the year 2025 is almost done. Chitegeza. All the goals you set for 2025, you're supposed to have done at least a quarter of them by the end of March. Today is 15th. Welcome to the weekly roundup. The government has extended the closure of Karuma Bridge by 7 days. Let's first take it a notch. Let's understand what Karuma Bridge is. Karuma Bridge is the connection between central Uganda and northern Uganda. Karuma Bridge is approximately 260 kilometers north of Kampala, and about 75 kilometers south of Gulu. That's a major city in northern Uganda, Karuma Bridge was constructed in 1963 by the colonial government. So because it's too long, Chitegeza Yatok at that time when it gets stressed by the movements. Remember, in 1963 we didn't have a lot of cars. Over time we have had a lot of small cars, big cars. Karuma Bridge is kind of the bridge from Uganda to DRC Congo, Uganda and South Sudan. So you can understand how much traffic that bridge has to take on. So the stress for a bridge that was constructed a long time ago, 1963, is too much. So it has started getting those cracks. It has started getting those, the normal wear and tear. So the government is trying to make it better, and they have continuously closed. The bridge, Karuma Bridge, is also near Karuma Falls. It's also the bridge that leads us to, my people here have told me the word is Maxon. Maxon. You're badly off. Mashison. Mashison is the right pronunciation. Okay, it says it's an access route to Max. It's the access route to Mashison Falls National Park. The government has put Karuma hydropower station. Now the power station gives up to 600 megawatts of power, which is a good development. So you see, the Karuma Bridge is very important. So built over 60 years, there is no more wear and tear, and that's what they are trying to work on. And of course, the flow of the river has been affected still by that. So the ecosystem now getting affected. But leave alone the ecosystem. We are for the love of cars. So we are talking about the effects. The people that are going to Gulu, the people that are going to Gulu. You have been told, the people that are going to northern Uganda, you guys have been given alternative routes. For example, if you're traveling to Gulu or West Nile, the alternative route would be Luero, Kafu, Masindi, Para, then you go through Mashison Falls National Park to Pakwach, and then that goes via Owiyo. People have names. And then if you're traveling to Lira, then your advice to use Iganga, Nakalama, Tirinye, Palisa, Kumi, Soroti, to Lira, that route, so that you avoid the Karuma Bridge. So for the people that are traveling that side, northern Uganda, and then probably Lira, you guys, the alternative routes. The Karuma Bridge is going to be closed a little longer. They hope to conclude it by April 7th, but I think they'll open it. Small traffic could be able to access it in between. Nainga, for now, for you to be safe and not have delays, you can use the alternative routes. So in a bid to encourage you guys to leave borders when you get money to buy cars, the person that gives us this news said he would include this piece of news. Of course, it's sad that this happened, but he said that a motorcycle murder is important on creating awareness so that you guys buy cars. In Kariro, a young man, 24 years, was brutally murdered by these guys that steal motorcycles. He was coming from seeing his father at night at around 9 p.m. They killed him. Then it happened when I was still in Kasangati. A neighbor of mine who is a Munyankore man that was selling milk, and even now he sells milk. He was coming from a supply. He was supplying someone at night, and then he was on his motorcycle Ngavuga. but he had a helmet on. It's the one thing that saved him. They hit him with a chilog. He fell in a ditch and they thought he had died. So they drove off. So the next morning I phoned them. I say, "Apichi yange bagitutte mukulu Arthur. Naye nawonye ekyamponyeza kuba nti nabadde nyambadde helmet. Naye nga bankubye obuti n'engwa eri mwana. Ne balowooza nfudde ne batwala pichi ne beeyongerayo." So for awareness purposes, as Mukulu Sekatawa told me, guys, buy cars. Because the motorcycle stolen was quite new. It's a UBF, better UFB. So UFB is a quite new motorcycle, and yeah, it's sad that happens. And motorcycle thieves, the sad thing about thieves, is that they don't really advance. Yeah, but to look at the example of the late Sobi. I don't even know why we call him late Sobi. Like, I find that for us to call someone late someone, it needs to be, we are respecting him. And of course in Luwero, we have two districts, Luwero and Nakaseke. The authorities there now, they want government support. There is a road. Yeah, there is a road. Erigata Nakaseke to Luwero. It's crucial. Ludiawo in the Lugogo swamp, but they call it the Lugogo swamp. So it's a part of the 12-kilometer Kasanabu Walula Timuna road. Kalika kilometer nga kambwe kati, but it was destroyed by the heavy rains, and they don't, because the people that are going to the hospital in Nakaseke, they use that road. People that are transporting farming produce, they use that road, and that part there has been spoiled by the water. Now the authorities in Nakaseke and Luwero have reported that government gives them up to 1 billion, but for them to repair that road properly, they need up to 800 million, and they say, okay, we can't get the entire budget for road rehabilitation of 1 billion to take 80% and we put it in this one road. We will leave the other places unattended to. So they are calling on government to give them support to be able, but both districts they couldn't balita million and they said temporarily let's make it better, which is something that this is good for this is good news. Like, we have some people that actually say let's work on this and make it better. But government, if anyone from government is watching, Ministry of Works, they are calling on Ministry of Works to come and either give them extra funding or take over the project. Yeah, because abantu bagetinga affected. They get affected, abalwadde bafiira mu kkubo, ebyamaguzi birwawo okutuuka, and it's people will be able to afford things, will be able to afford medicine, fuel, and even government will get taxes if the roads are good. So anyone from Ministry of Works, if you're watching this, kindly help me. Of course, it's also good for the channel that the minister watches the channel. Tell him there is a channel that is pro Ministry of Works. Of course, in South Africa, 19 learners were injured in a bus collision in Jamestown. Yeah, that is on 12th. So it was a bus that it's a 65-seater, and they got in a head-on collision with a truck. And in the same place, people have been getting accidents. For example, there was also another accident where a school bus also got involved. I think it's just like a corner. It's a black spot that where so many people get accidents. These people were coming from Ramaphosa Informal Settlement in Boxburg, ngabagenda ku Segulotog Primary School in Ketahog. South Africans, why not just name things, normal things, Nelson Mandela? Yeah? Just give them normal names. But I think these were named by the colonizers, yeah, the Dutch colonizers there. Before we know. So, but of course the kids went on to get medical attention, yeah. And then Toyota is launching their new electric CHR Plus. You guys have seen the Toyota CHR, which is a hybrid, being sold between 65 and 70 million shillings, right? Now, Toyota has launched, the CHR, which is an EV, totally EV, and they are making it for the European market, not for us. But of course, if you can afford, you can definitely go ahead and buy it for yourself. Now, they are creating this CHR for the European market. They are creating it for the European market. Now, they are making two versions of the CHR. One can take you up to 600 kilometers on a single charge. And that's a 77 kilowatt battery. And then the 57.7 kilowatt battery can take you up to 455 kilometers on a single charge. It's fully electric. And they say it's a compact SUV. Yeah. And it sits on the ETNGA platform. Now, there's something special here with the CHR. Toyota introduced battery care for the CHR Plus, covering the battery annually for up to 10 years or 1 million kilometers. Gwomanche kitegeeza omunago gamba feri eryanda tugenda diservicinga until it reaches 1 million kilometers. It means ekintu kye bakoze bakimanyi. So that's the CHR. Show them the video. So this is the CHR that Toyota has created for us, and they are going to launch it in the European market in late 2025. Yeah, of course we are almost ideally, but late 2025, I think that's around November, and then in 2026 people will be able to buy the CHR Plus. Now, wano twagala tulabire ku bantu mu abalina ssente mugende mugule ku zino emmotoka ez'amaanyi muzireete mugule emmotoka ze tulabyerabyeko wano n'ogireeta ne bagiteekako bibampa banootukanga. You go buy some of those cars, environmentally friendly. Now this vehicle of course is being made, Europe is moving away from using internal combustion engines. Well, on the bank is such a loan, as we saw in the weekly roundup last Saturday. There are banks that no longer give loans for people that are buying combustion engines. They are giving loans to only people buying EVs because that's just what they are doing as a bank. Which take it. But comes to Toyota, that's big. Yeah. If of course, if I could afford that car, I would drive it for 5 to 6 days without charging. But of course, we are Ugandans. We would charge it every day even then. We charge our phones every day even when they are not out of battery. We would charge the phone, you plug in this. Lexus is soon launching a car that is called the RZ550EF Sport model. And what they are doing with this car, it's electric. But what they are going to do, they are going to put what they call the wire. They have, of course, now they have a stimulated manual transmission. They have wire steering. It's not a steering that doesn't have a column. It's kawakawaya wekat. Ojivuga. It's very efficient. We have seen that in Teslas. But they are introducing the wire steering. But then they are introducing stimulated manual transmission with sound. You remember electric vehicles don't have sound. Ubanga avuga katoika. But now, what Lexus is doing is that they are also going to they have paddle shifters in their car. And gear number, no clutch of course, but every time you change to number 2 it will but it will be sound. They have created a program but for us who know, we will be able to know. I'm curious. I would love to experience that. But that's what they're doing with it. And it's a sport car. And that's what they are doing now. All these automakers are becoming very, very, very innovative. Yeah, they are trying. Of course, they are being innovative as they create cars that are good for the environment. It's something that you don't. The kind of polythene bags we get in supermarkets right now, the polythene bags where they put a big bottle of water and it falls out. Because those polythenes, apparently they can decompose easily in the ground. It was hard for them to decompose. So that's what these guys are doing. And it's called the Lexus RZ Sport Concept. So Nissan has appointed Ivan Espinosa as the new CEO. Yeah. So they previously had Makoto Uchida. I don't know if Makoto Uchida is the problem. Every time you are the CEO and people replace you, and they bring some other person that has been lower than you. Ngasi government, you have retired. It simply means there is something wrong. So, but they brought this guy and he's from Mexico. I don't know why you stressed this. But anyway, he's from Mexico, and I think probably because Nissan is the Japanese brand, and now they are not getting a Japanese CEO, they are getting someone from Mexico, which together. But they are expected. You remember recently, Nissan and Honda were planning on a merger, which did not work out. And because it did not work out, I think they are making adjustments to see that things will work out. So that's why whenever a company changes a CEO, a CFO, a CMO, it simply means they want to change direction. And this person is not going in the direction that they want to go. And the new person they are bringing is probably going to go there. But even before that, they even changed their company, the board chair. They also changed... even Mitsubishi actually also changed the CEO. I don't know what is happening with these auto companies. They're all like working around the clock to make sure they get new people to steer them in different directions. But I find that these people should get the technology people from Toyota, and they work with them. Which say that if anyone is seeking a merger, they should merge with Toyota. Something about what Toyota does that sticks out. And then there was a 17 vehicle crash in Austin, Texas. 3 adults and 2 kids died. You know, when they say 17 vehicle crash, it means 17 vehicles were involved in a crash. You have seen them along Northern Bypass, Chanja. Chanja, it's because a lot of drunkards are there. We saw it in Nigeria still because Nigeria is full of a lot of drunkards there. But the Northern Bypass, that might have been someone on the phone. We know why those vehicle crashes happen, And the accident, Bagamba boat, they already arrested someone. Someone is definitely responsible, but it's bad. It's bad. Guys, in Uganda, I would like to encourage you guys to stop using mobile phones when you are driving. It's one of the leading causes of that. And then probably work on your brakes, buy new tires, then we will avoid all those multiple vehicle crashes. And an Ontario man is on the hook for $62,000 after a friend of his refused to pay for a car she got on loan. And so now in Canada, when someone wants to borrow something, you can go and co-sign for them. However, it has come out that if you co-sign with someone, you have to pay the loan if they refuse to pay. Like they would actually make your guarantor pay for your loan. But because the loan is insured, then they work with insurance, I think. But this guy, in Toronto, you can go and get a car on loan, a brand new car. So this guy got a friend of his, a girl. I think he was friend zoned. And the girl wanted to buy a car. So being the good gentleman he is, he co-signed with the chick. Now, the chick gets probably into a fight with the boyfriend, and the boyfriend spoils the car. It's undrivable. The car gets parked and the chick refuses to pay. When the chick refuses to pay, the car company calls the guy. Muzeyo ina ibanja inosasula $7 every month. Mwewole motoka no ni mukazi wo. Then the guy says, but that's not my chick. She's my friend. I think then the salesperson tells him, how are you accepting to be friend zoned? Now, that's a conversation I don't know it happened. But I'm assuming if I were the salesperson, I would definitely ask him, how do you co-sign on a car agreement? So he's going to be paying $700 pack a banja with Iguayo, and he's also complaining, now I'm paying for a car that I don't even use. The boyfriend trashed the car. But for us as men of valor, we are saying, how can you accept to be friend zone to that level? How? I don't even think he ate. Gomanche chitezo sasude dole emitwalo 6,200 nga tewazikozesa nga mbaddemu n'omusajja omulala yabadde avuga emmotoka. You'd rather be the other man that is driving, not the one that paid. Mumpulidde, piece of advice. Be the one that drives the car, not the one that paid. Also, don't be the one in the friend zone. So Dr. Kiwanuka Jonathan, for the guys that have been on the channel for a very long time, Mumumanyi, we even hosted him on a live broadcast one morning. Now to Somesa Vinji, and I said, well, we should have him in the studio so that we talk more about health. Dr. Kiwanuka, you're welcome finally. Thank you for making it.
Thank
you,
sir. Nice to finally meet you.
The jam, but did the jam exist today?
Yes, it was there. So
and you know doctors don't fear hell. So a doctor, they have seen all those things. Do you fear hell, doctor?
Of course, we are human beings.
But hell exists in science.
That's debatable. But it does.
Do you believe in witchcraft?
Yes, because of course before the white man came here, we had our own cultures, beliefs.
A tarot. Does it exist? Bali tata mu luzungu.
Sikimanyi bulungi.
Ettalo kibagira n'ozimba ekigere bwoti.
Oh, okay.
Ettalo. Does that thing exist?
Yeah, naye ebeera just an infection, cellulitis.
Then what happens bano bwe bakuba empiso? And nafa on that very day bagamba ettalo likubamu empiso tosula. I've seen it.
I don't think that is accurate.
But we have seen it.
Mpozi nga you've been following up nolaba nga bagimukubye nga woli gwenyi nga tebagambye.
Yes, there is a man I know. Ye bamukuba kwoduba yawakana muga tugende bakuteekeko eddagala eri mu ssabo and all those things n'agaana ganze ndi musiraamu. The day bamukuba empiso that very day nafa.
Kati awo infection ebeera spreading nakirabako nalinako patient gwe bali bagamba nti yafuna ettalo so ng'agenda mu basawo then we bamuleeta nga infection already egenze mu blood stream mu musaayi so etugezaako waliwo abaali ne bagezaako kujja kunywa amasida and he died.
So the issue was not naye baali bamukubyemu empiso
just yali spreads naye kuba twali tutandise okukikolako and teyasobola kusurvivinga.
But have you in your family as mukulu sekata gwatera okubeera binebi ettalo doctor kyayogera kyekituufu? They are mysterious, but the doctors don't believe in it. For them, so just as ngatetunagera mbibuuzo byaffe, if someone gets something kyasuubira nti ttalo nga tayagala mukuba mu mpiso, do you guys have medication nga mpeke?
Ebintu byaffe ebisinga bibeera evidence based. So okola gundi dissertation yo nokola research yo neraga nti no actually ettalo liba kukino wekiti, we can adapt it.
And
no presenting to the medical boards and it is adapted.
Anti ngamba senga bankuba ettalo lyensubira nti ttalo nga sagala kwemalirayo nga nemmwe embasawo njagala nzije nga sagala kunkuba mpiso mwina yempekeze mumpa n'enzimiro banga 10
obeera obyonoonya.
But welcome to For the Love of Cars. We have a number of questions. Some of these questions came from the members of the channel and bayina ebibuuzo nga baga musawo atuddemu. The first question, before one gets a driving permit, they subject you to an eye test. That's literally the only thing they test us for. They don't test the mental health. They don't test reflexes. They don't test how long you can run. So do you think that overall physical health impacts a person's driving ability?
Yeah, definitely it does. Because of course you have to be mentally upright. Because they have to test the cognitive ability and the physical ability of the human being. Because cognitive is like the mental ability, judgment, and able to use your senses at optimum levels. Then physical ability, your muscle strength, your coordination, because that is very important, mostly in these manual cars. Although cars are getting more ergonomous and easier to control and there are a lot of innovations that have come.
But then how come police only test the eyes? They don't
I've also always wondered that. But if you, in other countries, you have to have actually a psychiatric examination. And I think every 2 years, you're supposed to have an eye test for you to have your license renewed. And so I don't know, maybe there are things that need to be changed here, or it will come in the future.
So that means for me now, my permit would have glasses included, because when I got my first permit, there was no glasses.
No, it's supposed to be there. Whoa. It's supposed to be there because in some countries it's taken as a sort of a disability. I don't know the technical term they use. The ones in the research I've done, it's mostly these vehicles whereby you have to have a 360 kind of view.
Like these things ebisitula nga bazimba ebizimbe. I can still do it even with my glasses.
It is something like that, but I think we need to
and also talking about that, do you think someone's unfitness, like there are some people go up the stairs as we were coming up here, and by the time they're up, should it be something that is also considered?
Yes.
Kuba asobola okufiira ku steering.
Yes, most definitely, because there are a lot of stresses that actually driving does to your body. Yeah, repetitive movements, sitting in one position a long time, you put a lot of strain on your back, also on your psychology, because you have to keep alert with the repetitive movements.
Yes.
And our bodies are not designed to handle such activities. So it takes a lot of adaptation, and of course you have to work with the medical people, and they tell you what you can and can't do.
And then, doctor, for people that love road trips, what are the health risks that are associated to driving long distances that people should be aware of? Because there are people that can go for road trips, Navgo, Vanga, Paka, Nairobi. There are even these guys that bring cars for us. The guys that drive the cars from Mombasa and they bring them to Kampala. What are some of the health risks that are associated with this?
Yeah, most of these health risks are usually associated with the age. As you get older, your cognition becomes a bit deprived, and as you age, of course, even your ability to do certain things keeps on decreasing. Your times of concentration, like if you to plot a graph scientifically, you find that the extremes, concentration goes on reducing. If you're too young, of course your concentration is still, there are certain areas in your brain that are still developing. Then when you're too old, you're starting to get these degenerative disorders in the brain, Alzheimer's and all these things, and certain neurotransmitters keep on reducing. So also that reduces your cognition. So basically, these people are supposed to have some tests done on them periodically, at least once in 6 months. I think that would make sense.
But I also hope you know that the people that do these things
but our culture in this country is if something is not broken, if we feel that it's working properly, we don't try to fix it. Exactly. So until something happens, maybe accidents increase because of these people, it will be brought up in principle, I think.
Then, doctor, motion sickness ruins driving experience.
Yes,
for many people. What causes it, and what are the effective ways to prevent and treat it?
Motion sickness in most people, it is usually the condition of the car that they are moving in. Because I've moved with some people who have said that they don't like moving in cars, and I moved with them in my car and they've been fine. But when they're moving in buses, taxis, it comes back. Usually the smell of those fumes, those hydrocarbons, they somehow affect your certain centers in your brain, and they cause you to have miscoordination between your balance and your sight and your hearing, and that's what causes the motion sickness. And then you find in other people it's genetic. It's
doctor.
Yes.
Like when I take taxis, I need a day to recover from that thing. When I take a taxi, when I take a bus, I need a day.
Kutunulira, people have different levels of tolerance.
Yes.
And different times they take to recover from certain adverse situations or conditions. Kati gwe bayinza okuteeka ali ku kisaawe nti dduka n'ono gwe no recovering after maybe 6 hours kimutwalira a longer time. So but there are some medicines, over the counter medicines you can take, but of course before you put chemicals in your body, medicines, you have to try and pinpoint the cause, because you can find it's just the hydrocarbons in the fuel, and you're just not tolerant to it.
So if someone experiences the motion sickness in certain cars, they should avoid them.
For me, I've seen that most people experience motion sickness when they're in public transport.
In this week's comparison, I want to look at some rich people that are driving normal people cars. I did a video on TikTok, and people are telling me that rich people don't drive normal people cars. So I thought I could just talk about a few people in the comparison this week, so that you compare yourself with them. It's good to compare yourself with people that are better than you. It makes you a better human being. I have some names here, and the one name that works out for me is Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, remember, is the CEO of Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. He has a bunch of other tools that they have bought, Threads, I think, as well. And he's big. Mark Zuckerberg is one of the richest people in the world. Mark Zuckerberg, in Morocco, the cars that are known. He has 3 cars. The Honda Fit, show them the picture. You guys know the Honda Fit. He has the Acura TSX, show them the picture. He also has a Volkswagen Golf GTI. You guys also have the Golf GTIs here. Now, you guys have these cars used. Prices for these cars when new. The Honda Fit, Mark Zuckerberg bought it at 59 million shillings, 200,000 shillings. 59 million, 200,000 shillings. Now, I've converted this money into Ugandan money so that you can know the facts. The Acura TSX, he bought it 114 million, 700,000 shillings. And the Golf GTI, he bought it for 107 million, 300,000 shillings. Is a Morocco za Mark Zuckerberg. Bozigatta ziba teziweza de million ebisatu. He's one of the richest people in the world, and one of the cars he drives is 59 million shillings. If you buy it from the bond here, it will probably be 21, 22 there. Where it's used. For you, Mark Zuckerberg. The next person that checks out for me is Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos drives a Honda Accord. Show them the image. Honda Accord nga mpya milioni 92,500,000 shillings. If you're buying it used here in Uganda, it would probably be like 25-30 million shillings there. He's driving a normal car, people. It's a cheap car. Honda Accord, it's a cheap car. We actually here, the only reason we don't buy it is maintenance. And then the other person that I want us to look at is Jack Ma. Jack Ma is CEO of Alibaba, AliExpress, yeah? He drives a Chinese car called the Huawei RX5. And it costs approximately 55,500,000 shillings. That's a normal people car. You guys are driving cars of 70-80 million shillings. Jack Ma is richer than you, and probably your parents combined drives a car of 50 million shillings. 55. Now, if it were used, it would be probably 22, 23 there. And then someone is going to ask, how about Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett drives a Cadillac XTS. It costs 170 million shillings. And a Lincoln Town car, 155 million shillings, 400,000 shillings. 155 million, 400,000 shillings, yeah? And let's see this other person. Mugenda kungamba, why are you not talking about Elon Musk? Elon Musk drives cars from his company. He doesn't pay for them. But he drives a Model S, and the Model S costs 380 million shillings. Yeah? That's why we don't have them here. They are expensive. And he has a Ford Model T. It's an antique, yeah? It costs about 37 million shillings. So, Bill Gates has monster cars. He has a Porsche Taycan, which is an electric, by the way. It costs 457 million shillings. He also has a Porsche 959. It's a rare collection car. And it costs 3 billion 700 million shillings. Yeah. So, but Bill Gates is just a fan of Porsches, yeah, and those are the headlines. And then, but Elon Musk also has something. He drove an Audi Q7, which you guys drive here. Normal people cars. So I want us to just compare that. To comparing because the rich people from here don't want us to know that they have simple cars. But in my interviews, very soon I'm going to be hosting some of those guys, and they'll be telling us the cheapest cars they have ever driven and the cheapest cars they own right now. Together by hosting very soon. Today's tip of the week goes out to the guys that are going to buy cars, especially ladies. Guys. A person that is selling you a car should never give you a mechanic. A person that is selling you a car should never give you a mechanic. They should never promise you that they can get you a mechanic. It's like you saying, I'm buying land from you, and it has graves, and you tell me I'll remove the graves for you. It's an experience I've had multiple times. Someone's going to buy a car and then they say, you know what, the person that is selling me the car told me they have good mechanics there. So why do they have good mechanics if the car is good? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. If you're going to buy a car, get your own mechanic. As a matter of fact, the person that is going to inspect that car should not know where you're going to buy the car, because once they know, they may be compromised. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. This is why normally I tell the people that are hiring me for inspection, you know what? Look for your cars. Call me to inspect. It erases away. It erases the chances of me being compromised. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So the person that is selling you a car should never promise to give you a mechanic or should never give you a mechanic. Then you're creating a relationship that you should not have. If your relationship with the other person is buying and selling, let it be that. Create another relationship that is fixing. Create a relationship with a mechanic. Create a relationship with someone inspecting. Create a relationship with someone that gives you spare. Don't mix these relationships. Once you mix a relationship, you're forgetting that these people are business people. So the next time you're going to buy a car, better mulavu. Thank you very much for being part of this week's episode of the Car Weekly Roundup, and thank you very much for choosing to be part of the For the Love of Cars community. August, the last weekend of August, together about the Love for Cars convention. Don't miss. And if you cannot be here physically, we will be streaming live for you guys ku channel ya Fera, oberengo oli Canada, oberengo oliwa, oberengo olabe chigenda maso. We are going to have lots of activities to have fun with you so that we enjoy. We are going to be there, we are going to chat, we are going to learn. I wish you a very lovely weekend. I'll see you in the evening broadcast. And you get a Saturday weekly evening broadcast. And then don't forget, Monday to Friday, we have the morning broadcast, 7:25. Yeah? I wish you a very lovely weekend. Don't drink and drive. Ciao.